Hello, my name is Melissa McGinnis and I go to Cape Breton University. This is a country study on Brazil. This is the flag of Brazil. It's brightly colored, just like the people of Brazil. They like bright colors, celebration, song, and dance. If you click on the YouTube video, and you'll see an overview of the economic conditions in Brazil. There are 27 white stars that represent the states and the federal district. And the inscription is Order and Progress, which summarizes Brazil and talks about the way that Brazil operates. Their motto is Order and Progress. So I think that really gives a good description of Brazil, that they have been able to persevere through economic times. Brazil is the largest country in South America. It has three major economic regions: the Amazon Basin, the Atlantic Forest, and the Cerrado Highlands. It borders all countries in South America except Peru and Chile. It has the largest portion of the Amazon River within its borders, and I think it gets mistaken for only having pristine beaches, but there's a lot more to Brazil. An overview of Brazil: the population exceeds 194 million people. The unemployment rate is 5.7% in 2011. The five largest cities are Sao Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, Salvador, Fortaleza, and Brasilia, with the capital city being Brasilia. They are a member of the four BRIC countries, which are Brazil, Russia, India, and China. And their exports exceed their imports. And this means that they have a strong economy. They export more product than they import. They have a really strong trading partner with China, but they also have trading relationships with the US and other European countries and Canada and other countries in South America. They have an abundance of natural resources, a few of which are oil and sugarcane, which they've been able to turn into ethanol, gold and iron ore, and agricultural exports such as sugar, soy, corn, coffee, bananas, and guayaba. They are under a political climate of a democratic republic, with the current president being Dilma Rousseff. She's a woman. She was elected on January 1st of 2011 for a 4-year term with a possible second term. And she appoints the ministers of state under this system. And they operate with 5 key principles: sovereignty, citizenship, dignity of human beings, social values of labor and free enterprise, and political pluralism. The former President Lula is quite sort of renowned in Brazil because he was the first working class president elected in Brazil, and he made a lot of changes for the people. The currency in Brazil is the real, and the unemployment rate, it's important to note, fell from 12.7% in 2000 to 5.7% in 2000. And that's as a result of President Lula and his changes. They are one of the 4 BRIC countries, as mentioned, and their exports of agricultural and manufactured products is greater than the amount of goods imported from other countries. The top 10 minerals produced are crude oil, iron, gold, calcium ore, natural gas, bauxite, phosphate, granite, zinc, and crude oil accounts for 37.6%, which is a huge chunk, along with gold and iron tied at 11.4%. The economy has experienced steady growth even through the financial crisis of 2007 and 2008. Agricultural and natural resources are the 2 strongest assets to this economy, followed by an available labor supply. And they're estimated to surpass France and move into the 5th position globally in relation to standing. This chart is an economic overview. The Transparency Index: out of 176 countries, Brazil's ranked number 69 with a score of 43, which means that in relation to the stability of the country and the level of corruption and such, they're rated number 69, and I think they're improving as their middle class emerges. The Economic Freedom Index, they're rated 113 with a score of 56.3. And that speaks to the overall sense of freedom of individuals, businesses, and the ability to do trade, and how much government interference there is there. And again, I think that's improving as the middle class emerges and as the government produces policies that help the people. Their GDP is strong, the GDP per capita is strong, and their economic growth is strong, with their highest rate so far being 7.1% in 2010. Socio-cultural climate in Brazil, they're ranked number 5 of the most populated countries in the world. Portuguese, European, Middle Eastern, Asian, and indigenous influences. Language, Portuguese is the main language, but there's also Spanish, German, Italian, Japanese, English, and Amerindian. Religion, 89% are Christian. The middle class is finally emerging, but traditionally there's been a huge gap there between the poor and the rich. The Bolsa Familia, or Family Grant, is a program created for rural poor families to encourage parents to keep their kids in school, not in factories working. And Brazilians are very patriotic to their favorite pastime, which is football, or soccer as we would commonly know it. They are very patriotic and colorful people who love to dance, sing, play music, and celebrate. And Carnival is one of their biggest celebrations, which takes place 5 days prior to Lent each year. And the life expectancy rate in Brazil is 3 years of age. Technology in Brazil, mining of minerals and natural resources, sugarcane being turned into ethanol was huge for them because they have a huge supply of sugarcane. Oil, they made a huge oil find, and that's been a huge player in moving them forward and making them competitive on the global market. Agriculture, the web, manufacture of aircraft has been a big thing for them as well. Manufacturing accounts for 1/5 of their GDP. There are 3 ecoregions: the Amazon Basin, Cerrado Highlands, and the Atlantic Forest. And the Amazon Basin is home to an estimated 6% of the world's endangered species. They are leaders in in environmental policy, so enforcing laws and statutes that protect the environment. And agricultural areas have been key to Brazil's position as a main global partner or exporter. The legal environment, they have minimum wage and labor standards. There's restrictions on certain advertising, and Brazilian law trumps international criminal law, and they also follow tort law when it relates to business. They fall under the civil law system, and they have been a leader in environmental law. So in summary, under factor conditions, their labor pool and the availability of abundance of natural resources are positives. Demand conditions, optimizing farmland and export opportunities. Related and supporting industries, trade partnerships with China, the US, and Europe create the strong position for them. And firm strategy, structure, and rivalry. Emerging middle class will put political pressure and make changes in their political structure that will be positive. And they have internal protections for their domestic firms that create a strong economy and keep it strong. And what does the future hold for Brazil? Brazil will continue to grow and prosper due to fiscal restraint, positive environmental management, and the abundance and management of the natural resources within the country. And I have a YouTube video there that is attached to continue my thoughts.